The decisions that send American troops to war, forge billion-dollar alliances, or impose crippling sanctions on foreign nations are not made in a vacuum. While Congress, the President, and the Cabinet are the public faces of political power, much of the decision-making is shaped in the quiet corridors of Washington, where a handful of unelected players wield influence that rival that of any head of government. These are America's power brokers, lobbyists who have turned influence into a currency more valuable than any vote. Lobbying, the act of influencing government decisions, is a constitutionally protected right in the United States that has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar industry. Its reach is vast, extending from seemingly niche political issues to monumental decisions like steering multi-billion-dollar defense contracts and the very direction of U.S. foreign policy. These groups operate through a sophisticated ecosystem of campaign donations, expert testimony, pre-drafted legislation, and cultivated personal relationships with lawmakers. This system creates what political scientists call an iron triangle, a powerful, mutually beneficial relationship between congressional committees, the federal bureaucracy, and special interest groups. While domestic policy is a key battleground, the geopolitical chessboard, that is, how the United States engages with the world, is where the stakes are the highest. Amid the current landscape of global conflicts and geopolitical clashes, some organizations are worth highlighting for their immense influence on Washington. Power is a lot like real estate. It's all about location. The closer you are to the source, the higher your property value. If you're interested in learning more about what happens beyond the headlines, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because in our world, every move matters. The American arms industry does not simply supply the military, it actively shapes the foreign policy that justifies its own existence. Corporations like Lockheed Martin, RTX Corporation, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman, along with their trade association, the Aerospace Industries Association, are the essential partners in policymaking. As the top defense contractors for the US federal government, these conglomerates receive the largest and most valuable contracts to supply the military with weapons, equipment, and services. This power is also felt in decisions regarding arms sales to foreign governments. When a nation seeks to buy American-made fighter jets, missiles, or surveillance systems, the defense lobby works to ensure the deal goes through, often framing it as essential for national security. This dynamic extends to foreign aid, where funds are frequently earmarked for purchasing military hardware from U.S. companies. For instance, a significant portion of U.S. aid to Israel is designed for acquiring advanced military technology, such as F-35 fighter jets from Lockheed Martin and missile defense systems developed with RTX. Similarly, allies like Taiwan and Ukraine employ American aid to purchase billions of dollars in equipments, from Boeing anti-ship missiles to a wide array of armaments from various US suppliers. So yeah, in essence, American taxpayer money is used to subsidize the defense industry's profits while advancing a specific foreign policy agenda. The result is that the strategic posture of the United States, that is, its willingness to intervene militarily in its network of global alliances, is intrinsically linked to the financial interests of these corporations. From the tensions in the South China Sea to the ongoing wars across Europe and the Middle East, the defense lobby's fingerprints are on the policies that keep the machinery of war well-oiled and highly profitable. For decades, one of the most effective foreign policy lobbies in Washington has been the pro-Israel lobby. At its heart is AIPAC, short for the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Founded in 1954 with the stated mission of ensuring Israel's security by strengthening the US-Israel relationship, its political and financial power makes it uniquely formidable. While other groups like Christians United for Israel also play a role, It is impossible to understand America's Middle East policy without acknowledging AIPAC's influence. A key part of AIPAC's strategy is immense spending in election campaigns, which it directs in a strictly bipartisan manner. AIPAC supports candidates from both parties, Republicans or Democrats, who align with its goals, ensuring allies are in power regardless of who controls the White House or Congress. To quantify this reach, data from the 2024 election cycle shows that contributions from AIPAC's Political Action Committee went to 366 members of Congress, equivalent to 2/3 of the legislative body of the United States. This financial power is used decisively. In 2024, AIPAC spent over $14 million in a single primary race to defeat New York Representative Jamal Bowman, a critic of Israel's war in Gaza, making it the most expensive House primary in history. The organization spent another $8.5 million to unseat Representative Cori Bush in Missouri. Such spending sends a powerful message to any politician considering a critical stance on Israel. There is a significant financial price to pay. But AIPAC's influence is not just about elections. The group operates year-round campaign of direct lobbying, providing lawmakers with draft language for pro-Israel legislation and sponsoring influential trips to Israel for members of Congress. This sustained effort shapes congressional votes on everything from the billions in annual aid for defense systems like the Iron Dome to US vetoes at the United Nations and the harsh sanctions against Iran. In the architecture of the American Middle East policy, AIPAC's work is a cornerstone, shaping the very foundation of the US involvement in the region. From the price Americans pay at the gas pump to the drivers of global conflict, the influence of the US energy lobby is enormous. Corporate giants like ExxonMobil and Chevron, alongside their primary interest group, the American Petroleum Institute, have shaped American policy for decades. Their power is built on massive financial spending and privileged access to decision-makers in Washington. In 2023 alone, the oil and gas industry spent over $135 million on federal lobbying. To put that figure in perspective, it significantly outpaces the spending of other powerful sectors, such as the automotive industry, and is comparable to the spending of the entire defense sector on lobbying. During the 2024 election cycle, the industry contributed over $19 million on political candidates, with over 80% of that money flowing into pro-industry Republicans. This investment pays dividends. For example, after intense lobbying, a clause was inserted into Biden's landmark 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. The clause mandated new oil and gas leases to be offered before the government could approve offshore wind projects. This financial muscle is also used to weaken environmental regulations and ensure the routine approval of drilling on public lands. But perhaps the most stark example of the energy lobby's geopolitical influence is its connection to the 2003 Iraq War. This link centers on the then Vice President Dick Cheney, the former CEO of Halliburton, a massive oilfield service company. In early 2001, long before the 9/11 attacks provided a public justification for war, Cheney chaired the Secret Energy Task Force, where he met almost exclusively with energy executives. Documents later revealed this group was studying detailed maps of Iraq's oil fields, and after the invasion, Iraq's state-owned oil industry was opened to foreign investment, and Cheney's former company, Halliburton, received billions in contracts to rebuild it, often without competitive bidding. Indeed, numerous geopolitical factors led to the US invasion of Iraq. But the chain of events is telling. The combination of Chinese ties to the energy industry, the secret pre-war planning focused on oil, and the immense post-war profits for connected companies presents a powerful case that corporate energy interests were and are still a significant factor. This illustrates how the line between national security and corporate profits can blur, demonstrating that the pursuit of energy security and resources can become a powerful, undeclared factor in the calculus of war. The defense, pro-Israel, and energy lobbies demonstrate how deeply entrenched special interest groups are in the formulation of US foreign policy and the pursuit of its geopolitical objectives. Through a sophisticated, well-funded combination of direct lobbying, campaign financing, and the cultivation of strategic relationships, these interest groups are able to promote their specific agendas away from the public eye. Their influence determines the flow of billions of dollars in aid and contracts and can be a significant factor in decisions as momentous as war. Make no mistake, many factors shape America's foreign policy, but the power wielded by those key interest groups is a crucial and defining element. In the high-stakes chess game of geopolitics, the decision makers are not always the ones holding public office. It's just geopolitics. Do you think this system of influence is a flaw in American democracy, or is it its feature? And if you want to learn more about politics and international affairs, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.